on the inside of us. Warrior strength. The type of strength that when people see it, they marvel at it.
Say it.
The type of strength, the type of power that we cannot let no one make us turn against each other. We must know that when brothers fight to death, a stranger will inherit our property. Brothers, when we fight to death, a stranger will inherit our property. A proud heart can survive a general failure because such a failure does not prick his pride. A man who pays respect to the great paves the way for his own greatness in the generations to come. It is best to walk this life together, for two are greater than one. A single stick may smoke, but it will not burn. Sticks in a bundle are unbreakable. See, we must remain humble. Only a fool tests the depths of the river with both feet. By crawling, that's where a child learns to stand. And he who learns teaches. Never forget your brothers or your sisters, because this is where your strength lies, in togetherness. This is where our strength lies, in togetherness. When a needle falls into a deep pit, many people will look into that pit, but few will go down into that pit after it. My people, I say to you, if your brother or your sister falls, help them up, encourage them, not to look to where they failed, but where they slipped. You have to remind them that it is not what they are called, but what they are answered to. So I say unto you, answer to greatness, answer to mighty warrior, because that's what you are, kings and queens. For tomorrow belongs to the people that prepare for it today. This was our life before the white sails.
that slavery is the next thing to hell. If a person will send another into bondage, then he'd be bad enough to send him into hell if he could.
I've been cleaning masters and cooking masters' house all day. But every time I think about being free, I get excited. Don't you want to be free?
Yes.
Harriet said, if we sing wade in the water, us gonna be free. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that host all dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. I feel like singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming for me. Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
If you get there before I do,
Coming for to carry me home.
tell all my friends I'll be there too.
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey, born February 1818. I'm the son of a slave woman, and my dad is an unknown white man. When I moved to Baltimore, it laid the foundation and opened the gateway to all my subsequent prosperity. My slave owner whipped me daily and barely fed me. I was broken in body, soul, and spirit. On January 1st, 1836, I made a resolution that I would be free by the end of the year. Finally, on September 3rd, 1838, my dream finally came true. I moved to Baltimore and married under my new name, Frederick Douglass. I went on to publish my autobiography, The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, in 1845. Even went on a speaking tour in England, Ireland, and Scotland. My legacy will always be known for the betterment of African American lives and for the rights of of all women. I am Frederick Douglass.
My name is Ross. But you probably know me by Harriet Tubman. You see, my mother's name was Harriet. So I took my mother's name. And then I married old John Tubman. I took his name. So you know me by Harriet Tubman. I was born a slave, but I should have been a free woman. My mama and my daddy, they were manumitted, but they didn't free them. I should have been free. When I was little, they made me take care of that baby. And when that baby cried, they whipped me. You see these scars? Yeah, I have scars. I had to wear these scars all my life. So I knew I wasn't going to be a slave. Yeah, I ran away one time with my brothers. You know those boys. They got scared. They said, "Come on, Harriet, we gotta go back." I wasn't going. They made me, they drugged me back. But you know what? I decided then I wasn't gonna stay. No, I wasn't gonna stay. So I ran away. I left them behind. You know, I had to take a few things with me. I had to get me a biscuit. I did. I got me a biscuit. But anyway, I ran away. So did. Ran, left Maryland, and I decided I was going to just do it. I ran, I walked. It was cold. It was cold. And then I found some people that wanted to help me. There were some slaves along the way. They said, "Shh, come over here. Let me help you." They helped me. And then there were some free blacks. They said, "Come over here, I'll help you." And then as I got to the north, I got on that train. You probably know about the Underground Railroad, right? Yeah, I got on that Underground Railroad. They helped me. They fed me, they gave me some dry clothes, and they sent me on into Philadelphia. When I got there, I raised my hands in the air and I said, "Lord, thank you. Thank you." I stayed there for a while and I made a little money and I went back. Because I was going to help some more people. Went back, brought some more slaves up. One time, when I went back, there was this old slave. He said, "Harriet, can't go. I'm too tired." I said, "No." I went in my purse again. I said, "Come on." He knew what that meant. He knew. You could either go back or Harriet would take care of it. But anyway, went on, freed them, went back again. By the time I went back again, you know they had that fugitive slave law, 1850. You probably remember that, don't you? Yeah. So we couldn't stay in Philadelphia. We had to go on into Canada. Went on up to St. Catherine's, stayed there for a while, But you know, I had to go back. I went back and got my mama and my daddy. My daddy was free, but he didn't want to leave. He was a free man, but he didn't want to leave. So I went back and I got both my mama and my daddy. I put them on that wagon. I'm like, come on, we going. And I took them on into freedom. So then as I got older, I bought a piece of land in Auburn, New York. Because when we ran away, we had nothing. We had to leave everything we had behind. So what was that? Nothing. So when we got to Auburn, we had to find a way to keep living. Well, I got sick, and they took me to my house. It was the house for the aged, for indigents like myself. But I have to say, I had to help those Civil War soldiers. You know, they didn't want colored soldiers. They didn't want colored soldiers. So I had to help them. And eventually they let them in. And guess what happened? The North won the war. Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I got sick. And before I left, I told him, I said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot.
My name is Dr. Carter G. Woodson. I am known as the father of Black History Month. I was born in 1875 near New Canton, Virginia. My parents were former slaves who were poor. My parents were very poor, but somehow they managed to save up some money to buy land. My family was one of the few Black families in Virginia that owned land during that time, because my family realized that owning land and education was the key and success to the Black family. During the 1890s, I hired myself out as a farm and manual laborer. I drove a garbage truck. I said I drove a garbage truck and worked in coal mines, all while attending high school and college. I was unable to attend high school until I was 20 years old. But I persevered. I kept going. I completed a 4-year high school program in 2 years. I then traveled to Africa, Asia, and Europe, and briefly attended the Sorbonne in Paris, France. In 1907, I obtained a BA degree from the University of Chicago. In 1912, I was the second African American to receive a PhD from Harvard University. The first being W.E. Du Bois. In 1915, a group of friends and I established the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. And a year later, the Journal of Negro History began its quarterly publication. I became active in Black organizations like the NAACP, the National Urban League, and Friends of the Negro Freedom. But in 1926, I propose and launch the annual February observance of Negro History Week, which became Black History Month in 1976. People often wonder why we chose the shortest month of the year to represent Black history. Well, I tell you, we wanted to pay homage to Abraham Lincoln, whose birthday is February the 12th, and Frederick Douglass, who we celebrate his birthday on February the 14th. I also founded the Associated Publishers, the founding editor of the Negro History Bulletin, which was mainly for children and school teachers. I am also the author of more than 30 books. My best known publication is The Miseducation of the Negro. This book was published in 1933. 85 years later, this book is still relevant. I submit to you, if you haven't read this book lately, that you need to blow the dust off and read it again. This book right here is at every college. If you're going to study African American studies, this is a necessity. I have always relied on Black communities throughout the country to maintain my organization activities. I've spoken at countless of elementary and high schools' Negro History Week events and at the graduation ceremonies of many of the HBCUs. My legacy will still live on as we come together, as we are right now, to celebrate another Black History Month. I want to thank you for coming, but hold on. I want to leave a quote from Dr. Carter G. Woodson. He said, when you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. I'm going to say that one more time, and I want it to marinate. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. My name is Dr. Carter G. Woodson, and I am known as the father of Black History Month.
My name is Thomas Andrew Dorsey. I used to play the blues. Matter of fact, I like playing the blues. But then I really got into church more and started writing and playing gospel. As my career developed more and more, I was asked one day, oh, by the way, I was married and was with a child, but one day I was asked to play at a revival. So I went to the revival, and getting ready to perform, getting ready to play, I got a message. A message saying, come home quick, your wife has died. What do you do? What do you say? Your wife has just died. Was this a joke? A friend of mine offered to take me home. So we drove home, and it was true. My wife had passed. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know who to turn to. Didn't know what to look for. A couple of days later, the child had passed. Your whole family. We just said goodbye to each other. And now I'm torn. I have no direction. I have no guidance. At the church, it was established I would say, Lord, help me. Lord, lead me. Lord, guide me. Someone shouted out, that's not his name. That's not his name. Precious Lord. Say, precious Lord. That's his name. before long, I sat down and I started to say, precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on. Through the light, take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. Because the song became so inspirational, even Dr. King, Martin Luther King Jr. would ask for this song to be given or sung to him for inspiration. He got his good friend, Mahalia Jackson, to sing this song with him. Please sing with me. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on. Let me stand. I am tired. I am weak. I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on. Through the light, take my hand. Precious Lord, lead me on. After this inspiration, I was known as Father of the Gospel. My name, Thomas Andrew Dorsey.
I am Jack Roosevelt Robinson. Most of you know me as Jackie Robinson. I was born in Cairo, Georgia, January 31st, 1919, to a family of sharecroppers. My mother's name is Mattie Robinson, and she single-handedly reared me and my 4 siblings. We were the only black family on the block, and prejudice, the prejudice that we encountered only strengthened our bond. I excelled early in sports and learned to make my own way. In 1941, at UCLA, I was the first athlete to win varsity letters in baseball, basketball, track, and football. From 1942 through 44, I served as a 2nd lieutenant in the United States Army. However, I never saw combat. Because during boot camp at Fort Hood, Texas, I was arrested and court-martialed in 1944 for refusing to give up a seat and move to the back of a segregated bus. Because of my reputation and combined efforts of friends, NAACP, various black newspapers that shed the injustice, I ultimately was acquitted and received an honorable discharge. But in 1945, I played 1 season in the Negro Baseball League as a Kansas City Marine. I met a beautiful woman by the name of Rachel at UCLA. We later married on February the 10th, 1946. We have 2 children, Jackie Jr. and Sharon. The Brooklyn Dodgers recruited me and signed me in 1947 to become the first black player to break the Major League Baseball color barriers in 50 years. I soon became a sports hero, even amongst my critics. I was subject of the popular song, "Did You See Jackie Robinson Hit That Ball?" My success in the major leagues opened the doors to other African Americans, such as Satchel Paige, Willie Mays, and the great Hank Aaron. A decade, about 10 years as the Dodgers, our team won several National League pennants. But in 1955, we achieved the ultimate victory of winning the World Series against the New York Yankees. Thank God it wasn't the Cubs. In 1956, I was traded to the Giants, the New York Giants, but I never played a game for them. I ultimately retired January the 5th, 1957. 1962, I was the first African American to be introduced into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Along in 1972, the Dodgers retired my jersey number 42. My stats: my batting average was .311, 137 home runs, 734 runs batted in, and 197 stolen bases. I gave this small speech to a social event, and it goes like this. At the beginning of the World Series in 1947, I experienced a completely new emotion. When the national anthem was played, this time, I thought it is being played for me as much as for anyone else. This organized Major League Baseball, and I am standing here with all the others, and everything that takes place includes me. About a year later, I went to Atlanta, Georgia, to play the expedition game. On the field, for the first time in Atlanta, there were Negroes and whites. And I thought, what I had always believed has come to be. I look at my children now, and I know that I must still prepare them to meet obstacles and prejudice. But I can tell them they will never face some of these prejudices because other people have gone before them. And to myself, I can say that because progress, unilaterally, many of today's dogmas will have vanished by the time they grow into adults. I can say to my children, there is a chance for you. No guarantees, but a chance. My fight was against the barriers that kept Negroes out of baseball. This was the area where I found imperfection and where I was best able to fight. And I fought because I knew it was not doomed to be a losing fight. It couldn't be a losing fight, not when it took place in a free society. And in the largest sense, I believe that what I did was done for me. It was my faith in God that sustained me in my fight, and that was done for me and must and will be done for others. I am Jackie Robinson.
I'm Eleanor Harris, but became known as Billie Holiday or Lady Day. I was born in 1915 in Philadelphia, and I became one of the greatest jazz singers ever. I've never had any formal musical training, but I have a very distinct sound that people say is very deeply moving. I've had many tragedies and hardships in my life, but you can hear that in my music. I recorded Strange Fruit to bring attention to the inhumanity of racism that still exists today. One day, I was having an argument with my mother over money, and she said to me, "God bless the child that's got her own." Life and living has ravished my voice, but I hope you enjoy this little song I helped to write. Shall have, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and that's true. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Don't
ever thought about what your life would be like without civil rights? Did you ever think about how you might feel if you were denied access to a school or to a Broadway show, or maybe even access to medical care because of how you look? But don't worry, this will never happen to you, because the civil rights for all Americans cannot be denied. And you got me to thank. My name is Thurgood Marsh. And I single-handedly confronted the Supreme Court on this matter in Brown versus Board of Education, and I made it very clear in my argument that separate but equal is unconstitutional and has no place in our society. You know, I was destined to be a champion for civil rights. You know, I was born back in 1908 in Baltimore, Maryland. I witnessed firsthand the pain and isolation of segregation. You know, because my family lived near a police station, my father, he would oftentimes take me down to the jail where black people were oftentimes picked up and mistreated because of their skin color. He would also take me to court to witness court cases against black people. You know, as a result of these early experiences, I developed an understanding of the justice system and some of the discrimination practices within that system. You know, my dear mother, she was a school teacher at the school where I attended. And you know, oftentimes as a kid, I would get in trouble a lot. But instead of my principal making me serve detention, he actually made me read and recite the Constitution. And now that I think about it, by the time I graduated from my all-black high school at the age of 16, I could recite most of the Constitution from memory. You know, considering how I ended up, I guess that's a good way to get a career started. You know, later on, I went on and graduated from Lincoln University, which is the oldest black college in the United States, with a degree in humanities. After that, I wanted to attend law school. So I applied at the University of Maryland's law school. But I was rejected because of my skin color. That was one of my first personal experiences with segregation. As fate would have it, I applied for Howard University and I received my law degree. Upon graduation, I started a small law firm and I practiced law there for a few years. And then I later joined the NAACP. And that's when my legal skills captured national attention. Over the next several years, I would travel the country defending black people who were oftentimes wrongly accused. I also fought against segregation and the Jim Crow laws of the South. They used to call me Mr. Civil Rights. In 1967, I became the first African-American Supreme Court Justice, and I served our country in this role for 24 years, championing the rights of the individual. In my heart, I believe that a child who was born to a black mother in a state like Mississippi has exactly the same rights as a child born to a white mother in the wealthiest part of our state, or our country. Now, I know this isn't true, but I would challenge anyone in this room that this isn't a cause worth fighting for. Let me leave you with these parting thoughts. You know, today our Constitution is a realistic document of freedom only because of several corrective amendments. These amendments speak to the sense of decency and fairness that I and other black people cherish. Today we've reached the point where people would say, we've come a long way. Have we? Today, you know, we've reached the point where people would say, education has come a long way for us. Has it? Has the gap gotten any smaller? No, it hasn't. In some cases, it's actually gotten bigger. You know, you look back and people would say, we're better off today. Better off than what? You know, I used to be amazed when people would say to me, well, a black child born in the South is better off than a kid born in South Africa. South Africa?
We ain't no South Africa. We here.
Good evening. My name is Rosa Parks. I was born Rosa Louise McCall on February 4th, 1913 in Tuskegee, Alabama. We later moved on to Montgomery, Alabama. I was frustrated with racism early in life. When I was a young girl, I was just walking down the sidewalk when a white boy decided he wanted to push me off. He was roller skating down the sidewalk. He decided he wanted to push me off. Well, I pushed him back. His mother tried to have me arrested. Then, I was just walking home from school when a little white boy threatened me with a brick. I told my grandmother I would rather be lynched than to be run over by them. Because you see, it took a major mental acrobatic feat just to live in the United States as a Negro. So it's no wonder that by December the 1st, 1955, oh, I'd gotten off work that day. I worked at the Montgomery Fair department store as a seamstress. And I got off work and began to take the bus. Had I not had a lot on my mind that day, I never would have taken that particular bus. Because you see, James Blake was driving that bus. James Blake was a mean bus driver. And he and I had a run-in some 10 years earlier. Because I went to get on the bus. Customary was that a Negro got on the bus and paid their fare at the front of the bus. Then they exit the bus and re-enter the bus from the rear in the Negro section. James Blake had a habit of running off, leaving you. He would just pull off and leave you standing there. So one day he pulled off and left me standing there in the rain. I said I would never ride this bus again. So I got on that bus that day, and the first 10 rows of the bus is for whites only. The second 10 rows were for coloreds only. See, many thought that I rode the first row. I was on the first row of the white section. No, I was on the first row of the colored section. In fact, that particular row I was in was called No Man's Land, because if anyone needed that, a white person needed that particular row, then they would ask us to move, and we would have to give up our seats. Well, this particular day, about the second stop, the bus began to fill. The bus went on, and by the third stop, the bus was completely filled, the white section and the colored section. So when he picked up a white man, he was going to have to stand. So the bus driver looked back and he says, I'm going to need those seats. All of us still sat there for a while. And he says, you all going to make it light on yourselves? So everyone else got up. I got up, but I didn't give my seat up. I moved over a seat. James Blake came back and he says to me, are you not going to get up? And I said, no. I tell you, that particular day, determination covered my body like a blanket on a cold winter's night. I was not giving up my seat. So when he said, you're not getting up, and I said no, because I understood that there were two laws on the books at the time. Yes, a colored and a white could not sit on the same seat on a bus. That was the bus segregation law. But there was another law on the books that they did not enforce, which said that if you had a seat on the bus, you did not have to give it up for anyone, white or black. But we didn't enforce that particular law. So So when he asked me if I was getting up, I said no. He says, I'm going to call the police on you. I said, well, call the police. He called the police. They came. They arrested me. They took me to jail. They fined me $10 fine for the bus segregation law. And then they fined me $4 for court fees. That started the biggest bus boycott in America. Not one Negro rode the bus for 381 days. 1955 to 1956, we did not go on the bus because we took up 70% of the population that rode the bus. So we hurt them where it hurt. So I say to you, if you're going to stand for something, stand. Even if you have to sit. So there was a young black minister that they decided had to lead this particular march. And his name was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
Do not tell me that the battle has won, that we have accomplished all that we have set out to achieve, that African Americans are now living that dream that so many of us have died for them to live, that we are sitting on that grand mountaintop and passing on through that passage and living that dream being passed down from generation to generation. That myself, a young Baptist minister from Atlanta, Georgia, have led the civil rights movement to force our oppressors to uphold America to all of its grand and glory. And that we should continue this work that we should start long time ago. Back when a 25-year-old man have led the Montgomery bus boycott by following the inspiration of people like Sister Rosa to fight legislation regarding segregation and help continue this fight all throughout Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and throughout the South until they heard our voice all the way in Washington, D.C., where we laid out that dream for all America to be one nation, for all people to operate in love and citizenship. That until we see this day, we cannot claim that we are that great nation. But as I look around and see that the nonviolence that we preached about in yesterday is being taken out on our brothers and sisters of today, to that we say no more. I did not give my life for my people to live in the mistreatment of a society in which they should serve. To that, we say no more. We still see the remnants of the actions and the policies of the past being torn down and breaking our young brothers and sisters of today. And to that, I say no more. No more should we stand by in silence and receive our young brothers and sisters lie dead in the street by one of our guns or theirs. To that, I say no more. No more should we see our young brothers and sisters being locked up by the hundreds and thousands. To that, we say no more. And no more should we see unjust laws being passed down by our politicians that repeats this vicious cycle. To that, we say no more. Long ago, I took up this fight to pursue that vision of what a great America should be. I utilize my tool of nonviolence to help change America. But please do not mistake our nonviolence for non-action. And let me say that again. Please do not mistake our nonviolence for non-action. It was our actions of leading protests across America to hope to show America what they should do in order to support our people. It was our actions of sitting in jail cells for crimes we did not commit, to show the world that our civil rights are being stripped from us. And it was our actions of putting our economical power to use in bus boycotts of all throughout America to show that our money is power. And it's our actions that I'm calling upon today for us to once again come together and show America that we will not stand by in silence as we see injustice before our very eyes. Let our voices be heard from the pulpit to the street corner, from the poet, from the musician. Let the dream that I dreamt a long time ago be awakened in our youth of today. Thank you.
Black is so terrible, it's terrifying.
What's happening, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? Did y'all know that before rapping, this right here was rapping? Did y'all know that rapping came from the griots in Africa that was telling a story? Communicate to our people. Communicate our struggle, our triumph, our spirituality. And with that being said, Kool Herc from Jamaica came to New York and began to DJ. And with that, the birth of hip hop happened. Now, this was in the 70s, y'all. And this right here, this is the Brothers Johnson and Quincy Jones, for those that don't know. And this is one of them grooves. So if y'all feeling that groove, just put a finger in the air so we can all feel that groove. Now say, the people united will never be defeated. Come on, y'all, it's okay. The people united will never be defeated. I can't hear y'all. I said the people united will never be defeated. And see, he would backspin that record, right? And that groove would just keep going on and on. And that's when we had the birth of sampling. But that was really appreciation of jazz, y'all. So keep it going. Say the people united will never be defeated. I said the people united will never be defeated. Yeah, ha, ha. Let's say turn it up. Come on, turn it up. Come on, turn it up. We say it to the beat. Everybody clap your hands until the beat. Clap your hands until the beat. And just clap your hands until the beat. Now my reality is what I speak. Words sound power over beats. Refining me the sheep to no longer be sheep. Will project this from a steeple. I'm a mixer, 5% in Hebrew. Reuse the groove in a way that would diffuse what men say. Abuse the white privilege, a crew that can't take. As the concrete jungle's not gentrified, let the engine ride from the rhythm coincide with our vision. Call it missionary. See me coming out on top. A visionary seeing an onslaught. Plotting on a disenfranchised. Disengage our third eye. No Willie Lynch, let the words we no longer buy by. With a new drive-by is waving high. Asking your fellow neighbor if they need a ride, then waving goodbye. That's it. That sickness we dealt with. Sign a peace treaty with my black felt tip. Yeah, ha. Now what tomorrow may bring. No wayward thoughts to no bottle of dreams. Ha. What tomorrow may bring, a new sense of thought and a higher self-esteem. Ha, now what tomorrow may bring, knowing insanity is repeating the same thing. Ha, what tomorrow may bring. Ha, what tomorrow may bring. Now, y'all know right now, hip-hop is about expression. Hip-hop, right here is hip-hop. If y'all hear the words you was talking about Waukegan, what that remind me of y'all right now? If y'all feeling that, say it loud. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. Come on, say it loud. It's okay to be proud to be black, y'all. Come on, say it loud. Come on, say say it loud. Now if y'all really feeling this beat, y'all can get up. I know it's some steppers out here, y'all. Stepping this hip hop too. Come on, I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. Now Fred is dead. I think Fred was there, but then no he ain't. Now Fred is dead. Now Fred is dead. I'm saying no he ain't. We had Frederick Douglass out here, y'all. Y'all seen him, right? So when I say Fred is dead, y'all say no he ain't. Fred is dead. Fred is dead. That's right, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Freddie Hubbard, rest his soul, but his legacy still lives on. So again, when I say Fred is dead, I said Fred is dead. That's right, say it loud. Come on, say it loud. Come on, say it loud. That's right, say it loud. I put a fist in the air. Come on, y'all, and then wave it around. You don't care. And if you're ready to rock with you, hip hop for, let me hear y'all say, oh yeah. And it don't stop. You keep on to the break of dawn. Now somebody, anybody, and everybody, come on, y'all, scream. Right on. Power to the people.
We've died so long, we must be free. I am Angela Davis, writer, activist, educator, feminist. I've been fighting so long. Allow me to evoke some of my historical memories tonight. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama in 1944, raised in a time when white supremacists would regularly bomb our neighborhoods. So I was determined to fight. I studied philosophy and critical theory. See, we should always ask questions. Question your assumptions, your surroundings, ideas, the world, that which it takes to understand the world. My questions led me to join the Black Panther Party and the Communist Party. I was often described as radical and militant, but being radical simply meant that I was grasping things at the root. And I was a fighting. In 1970, my throw and my fight made worldwide headlines. Angela Davis, FBI's most wanted. Armed and dangerous.
All right.
You see, I was a part of the Soledad Brothers defense team. We were fighting for 3 young men wrongfully incarcerated for murder. 3 wrongfully incarcerated. During one of the trials, a young brother attempted an armed escape. The guns used were registered to me. They then charged me with 3 capital crimes: murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. But I wasn't even in the courtroom, so then I had to fight for my freedom. There was a 3-month search for me before the FBI found and imprisoned me for 18 months. It imprisoned me for 18 months. But this wasn't about me, the individual. This was about discouraging everyone in the freedom struggle. That's what this was about. But it didn't work. I continue to fight to this day for freedom. Please remember that we are all a part of history.
And our history cannot be wiped away like a web page. It cannot be swept away with the swip of a hand. So do keep your head up. And remember that Black lives do matter. Yeah. They say freedom is a constant struggle. They say freedom is a constant struggle. Oh Lord, we've struggled so long, cried so long, died so long. We must be free.
You already know who I am. You already know who I am. Look at my nose, look at these cheeks, look how pretty I am. You know who I am. I'm the greatest. But before I was the greatest, I was born Cassius Marcellus Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, 1942. At the age of 12, I began training my boxing. At the age of 12, I knew I was the greatest. Yeah. Just 6 years later, I went to Rome, beat every bum in the Olympics, became the youngest gold medal winner in history. Okay, thank you. You know I'm the greatest. Just 2 years later, I had to give my goal, I had to give my shot at the title. I had to face Sonny Liston. Y'all know who Sonny Liston? Y'all ever seen Sonny Liston? Ain't he ugly? He's too ugly to be world champ. World champ gotta be pretty like me. He's too slow. The man that can beat me ain't been born yet. Sonny Liston think he can beat me. To prove I'm great, I'll beat him in 8. When you want to go to heaven, I'll beat him in 7. He be in the worst of fits, I'll put him in 6. You keep talking jive, I'll beat him in 5. If he make me sore, I'll get him in 4. You think you beat me, I'll beat him in 3. If that won't do, let's make it 2. If he run, I'm going to get him in 1. Muhammad Ali. And that's what came when in 1962 I discovered the Nation of Islam. Now to put away my slave name of Cassius Clay, I refused to be named after my plantation owner, my slave owner. I wasn't going to be known as Clay any longer, so I went by Cassius X after my good friend, Brother Malcolm. But then it came to me, Muhammad Ali sounds so much sweeter. And I became Ali. But guess what? Even though I was champ, I still have to deal with segregation. I still have to deal with hardships. I still have to deal with struggle. I'm the champ. I'm the greatest in the world. Yeah. I went to a diner, asked for a cheeseburger. She told me we don't serve Negroes here. I said good because I don't need them. I just want a cheeseburger. I was not exempt. And after dealing with that segregation, you know what the government told me? That I had to go fight in Vietnam. I ain't got nothing against no Viet Cong. Viet Cong ain't never called me nigga. Right. I gotta go 10,000 miles across the world to fight a race of colored people, to be held down by a white man's war again? I don't think so. So they told me, Ali, we gonna strip you of your titles. You won't be able to fight again. I said, we'll take it. Because my integrity and my identity in the face of my people ain't worth no championships. I'm still pretty. Don't matter, I don't need a belt, but I took my fight all the way to the Supreme Court, and I came out victorious. Yeah. I went to the Supreme Court, came out victorious, I didn't have to compromise a thing. Yeah. So I went back in the ring and reclaimed what belonged to me. Now to go through that big, bad, ugly Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier had my belt, he thought he could beat me. I knew Joe was gonna come out of smoking.
but I was gonna be a pecking and a poking. Now this might shock and amaze you, but I'm gonna destroy Joe Frazier. I beat him not once, twice, but 3 times. The last time it was a chiller and the killer when I beat that gorilla in Manila. I never forget when I was fighting for civil rights. Howard Cosell, y'all know who Howard Cosell is? Howard Cosell told me, champ, why you always talking about power to your people? Why you always talking about you need to have equal rights, no segregation? And you have all these material things. You have a Rolls Royce, you have a limousine, you have a Corvette in your driveway. I said, hold on, Cosell, you gonna call me out, get your facts right. I don't have a Rolls Royce in my driveway. I have 2. I'm gonna look good and I'm still gonna fight for my people. And that's what I did. Then I came up to George Foreman. George Foreman thought he could beat me like Sonny Liston. I ain't scared of no big, ugly, slow fighter. I was in the best shape of my life with George Foreman. You know what I did? You know what I did? What you know? I wrestled with an alligator. I tussled with a whale. Put handcuffs on Thunder, put lightning in jail. I beat up a stone. Hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. I went out there in the rumble in the jungle. I roped that dope against the rope. He ran out of gas. There wasn't no filling station around. He fell down and said, I am the greatest. In 1983, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. Only the good Lord himself could shut me up. But I still became a beacon of hope. Beacon of light, a beacon for the civil rights movement, for equality. I changed the times of the old meek American Negro that had to be, yes, master, no master. I said, I am the greatest, and I dare one of you bums to challenge me, I'll whoop you all. None of them could do it, so they couldn't shut me up. And for that, I created a new legacy of the athlete you see today. And even when Parkinson's had ravaged my body, I couldn't speak. I wasn't quit no more. In 1996, I still had the courage to hold up that torch and light that torch in Atlanta with my Parkinson's. Because I am the greatest, because I always stood, I spoke what I believed, I spoke with my heart, and I could back it up. Ain't I pretty? So for that reason only, you flow like the butterfly, sting like the bee. I'm the one and only, the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
Welcome to the Fame Auditions. I'm Debbie Allen, and I will be your director, producer, choreographer, and your co-star. All of that. For some of you, you are here looking for fame, but fame costs, and right here is where you start paying for it, in sweat. A lot of people think it's talent that gets you far, but oh no, it's preparation. And here is where we're gonna see what you got. Growing up in Houston, my mother used to tell me, Debbie, you and your sister Felicia are special. Y'all can be anything you want to be. You just have to want it, and you just need the opportunity to do it. I said, Mama, I want to be a ballerina. She said, well, let's get you into the best school we can. I tried out for the Houston Ballet School, and they told me I was so talented. I knew all the steps, I was driven, but they told me they don't accept colors. So they told me no. I went back to my dad's school, and I tried for a year. I trained, and I trained. Trained every day till my feet bled. I went back a year later, and they told me once again, no. I performed at a local show, and one of the new teachers who had just come in from Russia saw me, and he said, this girl is talented. I don't know what your problem is and why you won't admit her. So before they knew I was in the school, I had already wowed them with my talent. My dear friend Don Cornelius used to say, when God made me, he let me go through the talent line a few times. It's probably because I'm a director, a producer, a screenwriter, an educator, an actress, an author, and among many other things I'm adding to the list every day. All I know is that God has really blessed me. He's blessed me with talent, opportunity, and drive. And as a great poet, my favorite, Mr. James Brown, Bobby, I don't know. But what's it never needs, it's got to be funky.
Around here, it might be hard to sit up here and say you don't know who I am. But let me reintroduce myself. I'm Michael Jordan. MJ. Air Jordan. Despite what my idol Muhammad Ali might say, some might say I'm the greatest. And let's start from the beginning. I was born February 17, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. I moved with my family to Wilmington, North Carolina. I was the fourth of 5 children. My older brother Larry was the best basketball player in the state. So to the age of 11, my real, true passion for sports was baseball. Larry beat me every day. That was my first, where my competitive spirit began. I went to Laney High School. They cut me from the basketball team as a sophomore. My junior and senior year, I was a high school All-American. I went to the University of North Carolina, but they never had a freshman start on their team. I won a national championship as a freshman. My sophomore and junior year, I was the best player in the country. In 1984, I was drafted to the Chicago Bulls. The game would never be the same. Larry Bird said, that's God in the 23 uniform. Magic Johnson said, there's Michael Jordan, and then there's us. They told me that I was too selfish, wasn't a good teammate, didn't want to win. I said there's no I in team, but there's an I in win. I won 6 NBA championships, proved them all wrong. I won 6 NBA Finals MVPs.
Can I see your rings?
I got 5 NBA. Outside of being the best basketball player that's ever lived, I also became the most remarkable athlete that's ever breathed. I made over $1 billion for Nike. I made over $1.7 billion for myself. Made me the first professional athlete to be a billionaire and the 3rd richest African American in the world behind Oprah Winfrey and Robert F. Smith. I've endorsed for Hanes commercials, McDonald's, Sprite, just to name a few. And, oh, wait a second. Thanks. So with that being said, I just want to ask anybody who want to be like Mike.
All right, good evening, Waukegan. Well, I say to you tonight, there's not a liberal America and a conservative America. There's the United States of America. There's not a black America and a white America and Latino America and an Asian America. There's the United States of America. The pundits may like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states. Red states for the Republicans, blue states for the Democrats. But I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states, and we don't like the federal government poking around in our libraries in the red states. We coach Little League in the blue states. And yes, we've got some gay friends in the red states. There are patriots who opposed the war in Iraq, and there are patriots who supported the war in Iraq. But what keeps us united is hope. It's the hope of slaves sitting around a fire singing freedom songs. The hope of immigrants setting out for distant shores. It's the hope of a young naval lieutenant bravely patrolling the Mekong Delta. The hope of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too. Hope. Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty. The audacity of hope. In the end, that is God's greatest gift to us. The bedrock of this nation. A belief in things not seen. A belief that there are better days ahead. For many, my story began with that speech back in 2004. But my story begins much earlier. You see, before I was a president, before I was a U.S. Senator, before I was an Illinois State Senator, before I was the first black president of the Harvard Law Review, before I met and married Michelle Obama, before I graduated from Columbia College and became a community organizer on the south side of Chicago, before all of that, I was just a biracial boy growing up in Hawaii, confused. My father was born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He herded goats and went to school in a tin roof shack. His father, my grandfather, was a cook, a domestic, servant to the British. But my grandfather had a larger dream for his son. Through hard work and perseverance, my father got a scholarship to study in a magical place, America, that shone as a beacon of freedom and opportunity to so many who had come before him. While studying here, my father met my mother, You see, she was born in a town on the other side of the world, in a place called Kansas. Her father worked on oil rigs and farms through most of the Depression. The day after Pearl Harbor, my grandfather signed up for duty. He joined Patton's army, marched across Europe. Back home, my grandmother raised the baby and went to work on a bomber assembly line. After the war, they studied on the GI Bill, bought a house through the FHA, and later moved west, all the way to Hawaii in search of opportunity. My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. They would give me an African name, Barack, or blessed, believing that in a tolerant America, your name is no barrier to success. In the end, my name didn't stop me from achieving all my dreams. I achieved all those goals mentioned earlier and rose to become the most powerful person in the world. The road to get there was not easy, but as a black man in America, I know that nothing is ever easy, but it is possible through hard work and resilience. Becoming the first black president of the United States of America meant that as all black people in America before me, I had to endure some struggles. People questioned if I was really an American citizen or not. They questioned my religion and accused me of being a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. When that didn't work, they attacked my pastor, Jeremiah Wright, as a racist. They attacked my wife and family, depicting us as monkeys and going as far as having rallies where they showed me with a noose around my neck. When I gave millions of Americans health care, they said I was trying to create death panels for grandma, and even called me a liar while I was speaking on the floor of Congress. Yes, I endured disrespect, but like that wonderful poet Maya Angelou, still I rise. I rose and received the nomination for president, beating a name that had been in Democratic politics for over 3 decades, becoming the first black person in America to win a major party nomination. And then I went on to win the presidency. I rose and won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. And they said for our extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. I rose and saved the auto industry when our country entered the greatest recession since the Depression. I rose and signed the Affordable Care Act, giving health care to millions of Americans. I rose and ended the war in Iraq, captured Osama bin Laden, ended Don't Ask, Don't Tell, supported LGBT rights, permanently legalizing gay marriage in America. I rose and signed the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which gave access to legal jobs for millions of Americans who have been here since childhood. I dropped the veteran homeless rate by 50%. I rose and helped negotiate the landmark Iran nuclear deal. I signed the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act to combat pay discrimination against women. I rose and launched My Brother's Keeper, a White House initiative designed to help young minorities achieve their full potential. Now I'm no longer the president. As you can tell, I'm a little bit darker. It's from the tan, sitting out on the beach. But the current occupant of the White House is trying to roll back our progress. And I say we can't let him. We can't get mad, we gotta vote. So I need a commitment as we celebrate all those who died fighting for our rights, as we celebrate those historical black figures who only dreamed about a black president. We need to honor them by going out and voting in local elections this come April, and then making sure that we show up in 2020. I am the slave owner's greatest fear and those tormented by the ravages of slavery's greatest hope. I am Barack Hussein Obama.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Trayvon Martin. I was only 17 when I was walking to my dad's house in Florida. Guess I walked through the wrong neighborhood. A guy shot me, and he didn't just shoot me, But he was on the phone with the 911 operator the whole time. They told him not to come after me, he did anyway. This is all I had. An Arizona and a bag of Skittles. My name is Sandra Bland. When I was 27 years old, I was arrested for being a black woman with tenacity and strength. Those police didn't just beat me up, but then they hung me in my jail cell. That's not it. They didn't just hang me in my jail cell, but then they ruled it a suicide. My name is Freddie Gray. I was 25 years old when I was beaten into a coma by the police. Not just beaten to a coma, but they left me in my jail cell to die. My name is Eric Garner. I was 43 years old when the police choked me. The NYPD choked me on camera in front of everybody. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
And they got off. You know what? I had 6 kids. 6 kids. My name is Mike Brown. I was running around playing with my friend, running between the houses, and the police came around the corner and shot me dead. I was just playing with my friend. And they got off. Man. My name is Philando Castillo. Man, I was riding with my woman and my little baby girl. And they pulled me over on a routine traffic stop. I didn't do anything wrong. I told him I had to carry concealed. He killed me in front of my woman and my kid. Being black is a crime in this country, and most of my people are born guilty. But stand firm, proud, and realize that we were royalty before we were stolen. Most of my ancestors I named are younger than me. Mike Brown was a baby. Trayvon was a baby. They're killing our babies. Now my name is DeMonte Martin. I have 6 children. I have 6 children just like Eric Gardner. Now I can never imagine sending my kid to school or to the corner store just to be shot down in the street like an animal. This has to stop, and we as the parents, we need to stop. The only way we can stop it is unity. Unity amongst us. We need to make sure that they stop killing our children. Those babies are dead now, they're not coming back. We are the only representation of them. So as a representation, I know my role. What's gonna be yours? Peace and blessings.
All right.
I know what you're thinking. Did she just crip walk in here to Ice Cube? Yes, I did. See, my own kind still judging me. Big nose, big lips, big thighs, eyebrows that arch, built like a man, married to a white man. Yes, I heard it all. But I'm from Compton, where Rodney King got beat down in the middle of the streets. Where Ice Cube said, either they don't know, they don't show, or care about what's going on in the hood. But my daddy told me and my sister Venus, we was gonna be his ticket out the hood. We We became more than a ticket. We dominated, and still dominating this mostly all-white sport. 72 single career titles, 23 doubles titles, 2 mixed titles, 4-time Olympic gold medalists. But don't forget about my sister Venus. They try to break our bond, but we unbreakable. We are fighters. We don't give up. And guess what? We ain't going nowhere. Some people want me to surpass Margaret Court to become the #1 women's tennis player in this open era, but I believe I could beat the best and achieve the best. Every success of every woman, especially black women, should be an inspiration to us all. We should rise each other up. Stop tearing each other down. Stop hating and judging. There's plenty of us to go around. My story is definitely not over. Matter of fact, guess what? I'm just getting started. Now let me get back focused. 40 love, upper set, 2-0, finish her off. Oh.
Actually be called or be known by just one name. So there's Prince, there's Oprah, there's Barack, I'm Riri. I'm Aretha.
Yeah.
I am the queen of soul. Now, I don't really want to brag. I don't like bragging. But just for a minute, let me toot my own horn. So, I have had a 60-year career. 60.
All right.
60. And in that 60 years, so I've sold over 75 million records worldwide, everywhere. I have been inducted into, I'm the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
All right.
I have 18 Grammys. I have a BET Living Legend Award.
Yeah.
I'm stop right there. Because bragging, you know, it's boastful. It's not becoming of the queen.
Yes.
So, sticking to who I am, let me first say that my roots take me back to my father's church, where I sang the gospel. And it's been in me all my life. Because I understand and I do believe that nothing I have done, nowhere I have been, would have been possible without God's amazing grace.
Go to church.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like I was so blind, Lord, but now I see.
Hey. Hey. Beautiful.
Let's give them another round of applause. Supervisor Jones, would you like to come up and make a few remarks?
Everyone, can we remain standing, please? And on behalf of the Historical Black College Tour, presented by Waukegan Township in honor of another historic figure, a great man, Police Chief, Coroner, and City Clerk Artie Gandy. We want to present this bouquet of roses to Dr. Shipley.
that was her idea that all funds raised would go towards the HBCU tour that will take place March 21st this year, and we're returning on the 31st of March. And so this will enhance and give an opportunity to individuals, children, our children, freshmen through their senior year who otherwise would not have an opportunity to go on a historical tour. So thank you so much. Cast, you guys were phenomenal.
How's everybody? Okay, how's everybody? All right. Okay, again. Okay, so I just want to echo. Okay, Mom. Okay. So I just want to echo, honestly, Dr. Shipley, 100% her vision, her inspiration. She planned it. She handpicked everybody. She did everything. I think she's on to something big here. I think this is going to happen year after year after year, and it started right here with Dr. Shipley. So thank you so much. And this was a collaborative effort between the Waukegan Park District and the City of Waukegan. So I definitely want to thank our hard-working employees at the city, the Park District that helped, which was Ty Rohrer, who's up in the booth. All right. And Brian Escobar. Where's Brian? Well, Brian, he's in the back. Wait, Brian. He helped. Yes. All right. So we thank you for that. And also, I see the Partnership Commissioner and City Clerk Janet Kilkelly in the building, too. So, okay. All right. That being said, Dr. Shipley.
If you would please all remain standing and join us with the singing of the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing. You will find it on the inside of your program. Then we will dismiss and have refreshments later.
We have another bouquet on behalf of the cast for Dr. Harleen Shipley. Yes, so that's what happened to the cast. We love you, we appreciate you. You brought the best out of all of us.
Thank you. No, we're going to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Yes.
Group picture. Okay. Group picture.